Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to do is a question here based on the topic of circles, and the question itself I think comes from the World of Graphics textbook. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it comes from that. But the question here, as you can see, is obviously based on an airplane, and it's just a simple skills question here on completing a couple of exercises using circles. So you can see that the object is first of all symmetrical, so they've given us all the measurements here kind of I suppose for the left hand side, and we obviously have to replicate them over on the right hand side. So you can see here from the center of the, I suppose, the large face of the airplane, you can see it's 75 millimeters to the left end to the center of kind of the engines, and it's going to be the same on the right hand side, and 53 to the end like it is over here. Okay, so the best place to actually start this drawing is right in here with the center circle. Okay, and you can see here it has a radius of 45, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the main details first, the circle. We're going to put in the wings with the engines, and then at the very end we'll put in all the various other details such as the windows, the nose of the airplane, and then the tail at the back. So starting off, middle of our page, a radius 45 circle, and then we're going to measure 75 to the left from the center there and 75 to the right from the center as well. And we're going to do two circles here, radius 15 and radius 20 on both sides. Okay, so that's what we'll start with there. Right, so starting off, center of our page, I'm going to do a line here, construction line. I'm going to pick a center point right in there, and at that center point that I've just chosen right in there, I'm going to start off by measuring a distance of 45 millimeters out. Okay, so measuring out 45 millimeters, and I'm going to start off by drawing a circle radius 45. So I'll just zoom in there now so we can see it a little bit better. So putting my compass here, adjusting out the compass until I get to the 45 mark, and we'll draw on our large circle. Okay, that's step number one. Now, step number two, we're going to measure from here to the right 75 millimeters. Okay, so we'll go to the right 75 millimeters. I've identified my center there, and to the left from the center point here, another 75 millimeters. Now at this point, all I'm going to do is, I am going to do a vertical line up and down through the circles. So I've got a vertical line going up and down here. I'm going to do another one up and down here. Don't exactly know how high I just need it just yet, but I will just put it in. I'm going to do the exact same with this one. It's always good to put in our axes. And now what we're going to do is, we're going to measure out a distance, you'll see here, for the two radiuses of 15 and 20. So I'm going to go 15 there, I'm going to go 20 as well. So, I'm going to start it here on the right hand side. I'm going to set my compass on the center point, set the distance on the compass to 15 millimeters, and I'm going to draw in my radius 15 circle. Quite hard to do now, nice and small. Okay, now that we've done that, I'll come over here, keep the same size on the compass, and draw it in. There we go, there's our two radius 15 circles. Now I'm going to switch out the distance as far as my 20 mark. There we go. There's my 20. Concentric circles, two circles that use the same center point. And there we go. And there is our radius of 20. Now, from the side, now that we've done that, from the side here, I'm going to finish off the wings, okay? Now you can see that the wings, they have a height here, a thickness. From the middle, it's up a certain distance and down. If you look over here, it says 14, so that means it goes up 7 and down 7. And at the very end, from the center point here, it's 53 millimeters out to the end, and then obviously from the middle, it's 6, so that means up 3 and down 3. So we're going to replicate that to get the wings. So, all I'm going to do, first of all, I'm just going to extend out this line a little bit to the left, and the exact same, I'm okay with this one I think. So from the center point of this one, I'm going to measure 53 millimeters out to the right, and from the center point of this one, I'm going to measure 53 millimeters out to the left. Just about fitting there. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to do a little line up and down. The exact same over here. Now that I've got the lines going up and down, I'm going to measure on those lines. I'm going to measure up 3 and down 3. So 3 mil up, so 3 millimeters up, plus 3 millimeters down. So 3 up and 3 down. And I'm also going to measure up 7. 7 up and 7 down, which will bring me to the 40. And there we go. Now, with those, I'm going to do a line from the two 7s all the way across nice and light. The same thing here. So there's the 2 7s, okay? And in regards then to actually putting in the wings, from where it went 3 and 3, all I'm going to do is on this side here, I join it up like that, and I join it up like this. Okay, that's that portion. I'm going to do the exact same over here. I'll measure 3 and measure 3. So from the middle I went up 3 and down 3. And all I'm going to do then is this to here and this to here. Okay, so there we have it. Now it's a case of just heavying in the details. Just going to actually switch it out to my marker, and then we'll get on to the nice little portions of it after that. So just heavying in my horizontal lines first. So there's all my horizontal lines. Got 2 little vertical lines here and here. Now I'm going to put in my inclined lines. So I've got a little inclined line here and here. I'm going to do the exact same over here on the right hand side. Here and here. Okay, and then switching it out, I'm going to heavy in the circles. Bear with me here now. So take my time with this, just make sure I'm accurate. So I've got the large circle here, which is a radius of 45, and then I'm going to switch it out. I'm going to do the 2 20s. So 20. Take our time. Try to keep it neat and tidy. So I've got the 20 on this side. Okay, just take our time. So there's the 2 20s, and now we're on to the 2 15s. And as you get smaller, it does get a little bit more difficult in drawing it. So just take your time, work on your technique. So I've got the 15 on this side, and we'll switch it over here to the 15 on this side. And there we go. So there's all the details put in. Now it's just a case of finishing off the windows and so on. So, to get onto the windows here, okay, the windows are kind of guided by the back part of the plane, which I suppose is where the tail of the plane is. So you can see here, from the top of the circle, the top point up here is a height of 45, and then you can see from the middle, you can see it's 12 wide, so we have to measure 6 to the left and 6 to the right, and where it cuts the circumference of the circle. So that's what we're going to focus on first, is putting in that little tail. So from here, we're going to measure 45 millimeters up, so 45 up as far as 0. That's my top point. And then from the middle, all I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to do it here in the center point. So from the center point, I'm going to measure 6 to the left and 6 to the right, which brings me to 12. So I've gone 6 left and 6 right. And all I'm going to do here now is I'm going to do a line up, mark it there, from here, mark it. And at those 2 points, I'm going to join them up here like this. Okay, now that I've got those done, I can heavy those in. So there's our tail. So now that we've got our tail done, we're now going to work on to the windows. So for the windows, you can see here that the bottom edge of the windows, from the center line of the main circle, okay, they're up a height of 12. And then we have to put in these various measurements. And we can see here, it says 6 wide, but from the middle, because there's a gap of 6 there, that means we would go 3, 21, 6 and 8. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the height of the top edge and the bottom edge. So it's up 12, and then you can see it's up another 15. So all we're going to do here now is we're going to measure from the middle. I'm going to measure up 12 millimeters. Just have to adjust my visualizer here a little bit. Just going to measure up 12 millimeters from the middle. So from the center point of the large circle, measure 12 up, and 12 up again, or sorry, 15 up then will bring me as far as 27. So you can measure it up. I just did the addition. So from the center, 12 and then 27, because that's a gap of 15. Now, with those done, nice light construction line going across, and a nice light construction line going across. Okay, so let's start putting in our measurements. As I said previously, you can see the gap here is 6. That means from the middle we go 3, then 21, 6 and 8, and they all connect to the top point up there. So from the middle, I'm going to put those measurements in. From here I'm going to go 3, and then after the 3 I'm going to go 21. After the 21 I've got 6 and 8, so I'm going to go 6 and then finally 8. Now that I've done that on the right hand side, I'm going to do it on the left hand side as well. It's going to measure 3. Next measurement is 21, so put the 21 on it, so I mark back to 0 just when I'm moving to the left. The next measurement is 6, so 6 on it, and finally the next measurement is 8. Okay, now all those points that I've just done, they're all going to connect up to this guy here. Nice and light. Just connect those up, and it'll help us draw in the patterns or the windows. And there we go. Now, heavy in those details, I'm going to start with my horizontal lines. So there's kind of pattern there. Now, I'll put this up here. Try not to let the marker leak too much is all. There we go. And the last one right here. And there we go. There's that. Now the last bit that we're missing here is a radius 8 circle. Quite a challenge, but all we have to do, you can see the center point is not actually here, it's down a bit. So if it's radius 8, that means the center point has to be down 8. So from here, all we're going to do is we're going to measure down 8. Based off this, it should be 1 millimeter extra right there. So it's right there. There's my center point. Okay, now that I've got my center, quite a challenge now doing a small one. Hope I don't slip on this, but we'll give it a go first of all with the pencil. Do it as best I can. Nearly there. Just slipping off it slightly. And there we go. And you can see the circle in there now. Now I'm going to do it as best I can. Not sure if I'll actually be able to do it with this one here. I'll give it a go though. Okay, there's 1/2. Just about working. It's just within the range of it, just about. Okay, little bit leaky, but it'll do absolutely fine. And there you have it, folks. That there is the airplane question done there based on the topic of circles. So you can see there was the problem and there's the plane. Okay, that's the question done, guys. I hope you found that helpful. There you go.